All right, y'all. Last night, MSNBC host Rachel Maddow revealed 2 pages of President Donald Trump's 2005 tax forms. She got them from Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist David Cay Johnston, of course, who has his blog right here in D.C. Here's some of what they had to say.
What I have here is a copy of Donald Trump's tax returns. We have his federal tax return for 1 year for 2005. I believe this is the only set of the president's federal taxes that reporters have ever gotten a hold of. He paid $38 million, looks like $38 million in taxes. He took a big write-down of $103 million. More on that later. If you add up the lines for income, he made more than $150 million in that year.
Came in the mail over the transom, and there is absolutely nothing improper about journalists, if you haven't solicited something, getting it over the transom. And by the way, let me point out, it's entirely possible that Donald sent this to me.
Now, that actually makes sense. The White House sent a statement to NBC that reads in part, before being elected, Mr. Trump was one of the most successful businessmen in the world with a responsibility to his company, his family, and his employees to pay no more tax than legally required. That being said, Mr. Trump paid $38 million even after taking into account large-scale depreciation for construction on an income of more than $150 million, as well as paying tens of millions of dollars in other taxes, such as sales and excise tax and employment taxes, and this illegally published return proves just that. Despite the substantial income figure and tax paid, it is totally illegal to steal and publish tax returns. Now, we're used to the Trump people. That's a lie. The fact of the matter is, if you steal it, I mean, that's the case. But if somebody sends it to a reporter, you can actually publish it. That's not stealing. But why are we shocked? The Trump White House is lying to us. Let's go to our panel here. Folks, I think very simple. There's no doubt in my mind, all of a sudden, first of all, David Cay Johnston has been reporting on Trump for 30 years. He said last night, Trump has consistently leaked stuff himself. He used to fake somebody else when he would call New York gossip columnists to get himself in the newspaper. There's no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind the White House released this. They dropped it because they were so ready. They were just waiting for Rachel to drop that tweet, and all of a sudden they released it, which proves they can actually release taxes.
Sure. And what do we have? We have him in Nashville, my hometown today, ostensibly talking about health care.
And Michigan.
Right, but he's not meeting with any health care professionals. He's going to lay a wreath at Andrew Jackson's grave. But let's keep our
slave owner.
200, exactly, slave owner, Indian killer, 250 years old today. There's a woman who's a third of that age today, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That's where the ball needs to be. Gorsuch's confirmation starts next week. This is all about distractions. You got Bannon and them trying to pull him away from Paul Ryan and this ridiculous health care thing. This guy knows what he's doing. He's an agent of chaos.
And Rena, today, Comey goes to Capitol Hill and is likely, according to a Democratic senator, is going to publicly state there is an investigation between Russia and the Trump camp.
Right. So the master of distraction, President Trump, is very strategic in his moves. And one dead giveaway is the words client copy on those returns that came out last night. Listen, I don't care what side of the aisle you find yourself on. Watch that show if you can get your hands on it, Maddow, last night. It was riveting. That's journalism.
Yes.
What she found and how she objectively reported on this. All Americans should be concerned about what their president's tax burden was and maybe what it should be in the future as well. But regardless, I think the reality is that this is sick, what the Trump White House does, spinning it on us all the time, that it is not necessary to let his tax returns be made public. We need to know what his foreign entanglements are. As someone who was part of the Never Trump movement, but now somewhat lukewarm supportive of the president because he is the American president, I do wish for his success. I still worry daily about what the tie his administration has, what he has, what Russia has on him. What's that tie? What's the link? We deserve to know. And let me tell you what would give it away in tax returns. Who he gives.
He basically gave no money to anybody.
Oh, no. But one dead giveaway is essentially who he's paying interest to.
Yeah, who
does he owe?
That is what would tell us.
Spencer, we ain't falling for the okie doke.
That's right.
Trump consistently wants to change the story. He wants to change the narrative. No, player, the story is still on the health care bill, and it's still on Russia.
Right. Those are the big issues right now. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think that he cherry-picked something where he paid $38 million just to say, hey, I paid all these taxes? taxes, $38 million worth
Right.
of money.
Because of what he didn't release 2004
Right.
or 3 or 2. And let me remind people, Hillary Clinton released all of her taxes dating back to 1977. This man does not want to do that, and in fact, there was some other reporting, I think, by the New York Times and others, that showed that in other tax returns that he was taking a housing deduction, so greatly limiting his income to qualify for a middle-class housing deduction in New York as well. Taxes would reveal that. Nah. He does not want to reveal the taxes, and to your point, Rena, who he owes money to.
That's right.
And that's the real issue, because he's been lying to us. Donald Trump has consistently lied by saying he has no dealings in Russia, taking no money in Russia, yet his own son in 2008 blabbed publicly, oh yeah, we've got millions flowing in from Russia.
And don't forget that, you got Jared Kushner's family getting ready to make a sweetheart deal with the Chinese.
About to make $400 million.
$400 million. These
China.
These grifters are straight. You nailed
Getting
it.
rich off this presidency.
That's exactly right. The first. That's right.
It's in broad daylight.
That's right.
I think Eric Trump said, our brand hasn't been hotter ever.
That's right.
Yeah, because your damn daddy is president.
That's right.
And that's right, as an appropriate word, grifters.
Yeah, they're grifting. And I mean, if you think about it, and you're right, the first 20 minutes of Maddow, forget the tax release, the lead up to it.
That's right.
The Bank of Cyprus. What's Wilbur Ross's role in this as a trustee of that bank and then working with the banks before that? He can't release. Now, these first 2 pages, that's great. But go through the rest of the pages that lead up to those first 2.
How about this here? Okay, he's going to file taxes this year.
Yes, sir.
And guess what? You can't use the audit lie, because the IRS doesn't audit presidents.
How about that? How about that? So now,
Ooh, I can't wait for that one.
And meanwhile,
I can't wait for that lie.
You're talking about $54 million increase. And you're gutting a State Department at the time that North Korea, which Obama told you is the thing you need to be worried about first, is testing intercontinental missiles and arming it with new. What is this guy doing?
Yep. And things are, off the rails in terms of South Korea, in terms of leadership here, and so there is this opening.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly what Russia wants.
I just can't wait for the new lie as to why he can't release this year's tax returns. Now, here's the deal. It's probably going to be big, so here's the deal. So he's probably going to get an extension, so he's going to file in October. We'll wait. But I want to see how creative that new lie is going to be. A peaceful protest turned deadly. 37-year-old black man was shot and killed by Baton Rouge police. His hands are in the air, and you still get shot by the cops.
Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead.
We're not going to let hate define us.
Race is a big part of this.
If truly all lives matter, then all lives need to matter equally.
What we require is action. What we require is accountability. We understand that black lives do matter, and we will keep focused on this issue.
NewsOne Now, every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.